Hey everybody, back up here in the Boundary Waters. I'm attempting to do this loop, this trek of 4 different lakes. Temperature right now is 32 degrees. It's supposed to get down to maybe 20 this whole time. This trip is supposed to be right now maybe 0 degrees, which is negative 17 Celsius. That's about the average temperature during this time. It's been unseasonably warm, and I'm heading right on the lake. I'm done with this portage. I got another portage that I'm hoping to get through. I gotta shed some layers because I'm really getting hot. So I better take off. Gotta get going. I got a long ways to go to get to this one camp lake. I'm hoping to get to Canoe Lake if I can get through that portage, that old portage. There might be trees down, it may be blocking me. If so, well, I have to do something else. But I'm up here and I love it. I'm cruising across this lake, Slim Lake, and last time I came through here, there was a lot of slush. But so far, so good. I'm coming up to that portage. I'm hoping that it's clear, there's not a lot of rocks, there's snow, and not trees down, and I'll be able to cruise right through. Hoping to be to Canoe Lake in a couple hours, but we'll see how it goes. If not, I'll have to improvise. On my way. I'm following this wolf track. It's gonna lead me right to that portage. As I got closer, I could see that other wolves came together from each direction to form a pack. And to cruise down this trail. Just came down that way. Oh, I still got a long ways to go and I'm getting tired. Whew. Going up and down over rocks. There's rocks, snow is on top of them, but I'm still scraping bottom on my sled. Beautiful back here. Oh, what a gorgeous little trail. So I stopped to shoot some B-roll, get some scenery for the trip, and this ermine comes running out. It's a short-tailed weasel. An ermine comes running out and is checking me out, and it's getting closer and closer. And I don't know if he was sizing me up, looking for something to eat, or he was just curious. But that's cool. To see an ermine, that's pretty rare. I brought snowshoes, and so far I don't think I'm gonna need them. But just in case, who knows, on this loop here, there could be some real deep snow, some drifting. So I'm gonna take off and head to my next camp. Now I'm making really good time with the snow being really shallow. No one has gone down here, so I'm the first one to go down here. So the wolf went that way, I'm going this way. Off to camp. I just came out of the woods and I'm following the swamp area here, and it's just beautiful with the snow on there. There's a creek that runs through it all the way down, so I'm following the edge of this creek. So, oh, this is just gorgeous. Check this out, man. Check it out. Under that log and all the way down to the lake, Canoe Lake. Got about a 3/4 of a mile to go, maybe a half. Trying to stay off to the side of that creek because there's openings, and with the water moving and the warm temperatures, I was walking on it a little bit and it started cracking and I got off. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking and hopefully I don't go in. I gotta get going. I'd like to have a fire tonight, but if I don't get there in time, I don't know. I won't have a fire, but I'm hungry. I gotta somehow go up this way over that rock Maybe between those two trees. Can't go down that way. It's a long drop. Boy, I'm trying to get around this creek and I'm climbing this hill, but I don't know if that was a wise decision. But I'm gonna keep pressing on, otherwise I'll have to turn back and, I guess hug the creek as close as I can, but I'm worried about breaking through. Well, I broke through and that time I took water in my boots. That's not good, that's the only boots I have. Luckily I have these gaiters on, that's saving me. I don't know what to do. The lake is right over here and the only way through is this creek. I don't know if I'm gonna get through. I keep busting through this water. I have to find an alternative route. I think I can see the lake up there, but I got a bushwhack. But I can't go in the woods because all the trees are down, so I'm trying to follow the edge and I don't know. Just keep on moving. My feet are wet. No. Oh well. After having the sled tipping over in the rugged terrain, with the hawk owl watching from afar, I decided to unhook the harness and search for a safe passage. Well, I kind of checked out a path, but it crosses a creek a couple times. I have no choice but to cross the creek. I'm going to break through. Probably, hopefully ankle deep, but there's a couple places when I went through it was knee deep. Oh, the lake is so close, and I'm not turning around. Keep going, keep going. I'll make it. Luckily, I have my vapor barrier socks on. Oh, my boots are wet. And I don't have any other boots to go with it because it's so warm. I didn't take anything else. Man, I hope I don't break through again. I can feel my shoes, my boots are a little wet. Luckily it's not -17 Celsius. I'd be in trouble. I gotta cross all that and hopefully I won't break through. The lake's right over there. After a good workout and wet feet, I finally made it to the frozen lake. I still had to stay off to the side because of the thin ice. After a long day of trekking, well, I finally made it to Canoe Lake. This is the campsite. It's a beautiful campsite here on Canoe Lake. A lot of red pines. I love red pines. I'm going to eat lunch right now, and I'm going to decide after I'm done eating lunch if I'm going to continue to head over to Hook Lake. There's a campsite over there. Because my boots are wet, I think I should push it. But then if I do that, then I won't have a fire tonight. Very unlikely. But I brought a wood-burning stove, so that will make up for it. But I'm thinking I'm going to push on. But I got to get some food in me and some water. Oh, beautiful day. It was tough getting through that swamp. I don't know how many times I broke through the little creek. And my feet are wet. And luckily I had these gaiters on. Otherwise, I would have been in big trouble. So they're just damp. They're not soaking wet because they protected it. But I'm going to eat my lunch and then I think I'm going to move on. Well, it's off to Hook Lake. Well, I'm almost at that portage. I'm really flying on this lake. Like I said earlier, it's about 4 inches of snow. I don't have to break trail. Hopefully that portage won't be so bad. I don't have to go busting through some water because it's still a creek that goes through, runs through, or a tributary that goes to the next lake. So I don't want to be getting wet anymore because my feet are drying a little bit. But you can see the camp behind me, so I'm cruising. But I better get to camp. It's 3 o'clock. It gets dark at 6. I'm running out of daylight, so I got to get going. Come on, let's go. Ugh. A little bit of open water. I had to sneak around. Portage is right here, I believe. Again, I'm shooting some beautiful B-roll, some tasty B-roll. It's a pine marten. He's just sitting there on this log, this branch. Man, I can't believe it. A pine marten now, if you were to go, the smallest of the weasel family is an ermine. then it goes to a mink, weasel, pine marten, fisher, and then a river otter. Man, to see both of those in the same day, that is very rare. It's rare to see one. What a great day. All I need to do is see a moose. Oh, I made it to the lake, but there's open water there, so it's going to be thin. I can see it thin over on the side, so I'm going to have to scoot around somehow on the shoreline because I don't want to go through again. And this time it'll be deeper, but I'm going to take my time and skirt that shoreline. Woo! You can see open water on the other side and on this side, and it's real slushy in the middle. So I'm not going to go near there. I'm going to go across this little marsh here and right to that point and then kind of check the lake to see if it's safe. As darkness is getting ready to settle in, I finally made camp. Just in time to set up my camp. After camp was secured, I searched for dead, dried pine branches from under the cover of trees as I prepared for tonight's feast by the fire. Well, good morning everyone. It's the second day. Slept great in this hammock. This is a Dutchware 11-foot wide netless hammock. And for the underquilt, I have a Hammock Gear 0 degree Phoenix, which is a 3/4 length underquilt. And the top quilt is also from Hammock Gear. It's a burl, but it's only a 20 degree. The reason why I'm using a 20 degrees in the middle of the winter in January where the temperature should be sub-zero, 0 degrees, -17 Celsius. The low today this morning was 25 degrees, which was -3 Celsius. So it's been really balmy. It's been warm and it's starting to snow a little bit. It snowed all night, just very lightly. And oh, it's a beautiful morning. Yesterday was really challenging going through that old portage, and that wasn't too bad. It was beautiful going through there. There's hardly any snow there. It's very light. And when you come to that marshy area, which is probably almost a mile long, you had to cross over the creek. I broke through at least 5 times, and luckily I had vapor barrier socks on, But also I have gaiters on, and the gaiters really saved me because it was tight against my boots, so the water did not get in there, just a little bit. And you can see how this sock is frozen, but this one not so much, so I got a little bit on my right foot. But I have my vapor barrier socks and those thin nylon socks in my pocket, and then I have a new pair of socks, real light wool socks. I'll go over those inside my jacket, warming them up. I'm going to put them on, put on my boots. Oh, my pants are a little wet on the bottom and they're frozen, but I'll warm up quickly on those. I try to go around the creek going into the woods, but there's so many trees down that it just forced me down to the creek, and I stayed as close as I could, but there's times I just had to cross. But when I came out of that marsh and headed on Canoe Lake, and I stopped at that campsite, boy, it was a beautiful campsite. You could probably hang 10 hammocks there. I love red pines. There's a lot of red pines around here, but that was a really nice campsite. Yesterday morning, I got up at 4 o'clock, hopped in the car, and it's about 200 miles, a little over 200 miles to get here. The whole way up here, it was fog. All the way from the Twin Cities to Ely was nothing but fog, dense fog in some places. Well, I think I'm going to get up and eat some breakfast. I'm going to have some hot chocolate, some oatmeal. I'm going to get my socks on, get my pants on, and get up and start eating breakfast. Time to get going. Got to get my boots and my frozen pants on. Now for breakfast, I got hot chocolate. It's hot. Very good though. And then I have strawberry raspberry oatmeal. And I put the water in this little packet because I don't want any dishes. And so I eat out of these little packets, and it works really well. Very tasty. That raspberry really gives a little kick to it. It's my favorite oatmeal. I'm going to eat my breakfast, finish up, and then I'm going to take down camp, and then I'm going to head that away is a portage that goes to Rice Lake. That is going to be a little challenging because there's a creek that's open, running water. I have to cross that with the rocks, and so I think twice I have to cross that if I remember right. And then tonight I'll be in Slim Lake. It's a beautiful day with the snow falling. You guys, it is so great being up here in the wilderness. One thing about winter camping, you have the void of light, void of sound, void of colors. It's just beautiful. You can hear the wind going through the trees. Last night, the wind kicked up during the middle of the night, and I can hear the wind howling, really, because it was really whipping for a little bit, and I can hear it going through the trees. I slept like a baby. I went to bed about 7:30-ish, and I got up about 7:30. 12 hours in a hammock. I was really sore, guys, from that hike, pulling that poke. And you get in a hammock, it conforms around your body, no pressure points. I feel great. I'm ready to go. That's why a hammock is so crucial to me for hiking. If I didn't have a hammock, I wouldn't hike, because I can't be crawling on my hands and knees, sitting on a hard mattress on the ground. A hammock is the ticket, especially as you get older. Well, I better get going, you guys. Finish my breakfast and head on out. I got the poke all packed. I'm ready to go. I'm going to head out on this lake, which is Hook Lake. Go down to the other end. I'm going to pick up a portage that's going to lead me to Rice Lake. cross that, pick up another portage that's going to lead me to Slim Lake, and that's where I'm going to spend the night. So I'm off. Ah. The portage is right about there. Oh, I'm trekking right along. Getting tired though. Man, it's a lot of work pulling the poke through the snow, and luckily the snow is not so deep, but the portage is right up there, and I'm getting closer. I can see that someone came through here. I can see they're pulling a poke. So it looks like I'm back to civilization. Oh, here we go. Back to the real world. Or is it? Oh, I gotta get over this log. The sled tipped over. Ouch. Well, I'm on Rice Lake. Portage is on the other side. Last portage to do. It's a short portage and get across that creek and I'm home free. Well, let's do it. Crossing Rice Lake and I'm hitting slush. Nothing worse than hitting slush, especially if it's really cold. You hit slush, the sled will freeze on the bottom and you ain't going nowhere. So luckily it's warm. I'm skimming the top with the sled, but if I get water underneath there, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to chip it or scrape it off. The fun of a trek in the Boundary Waters. Checking this site out. I really like it. Not many hangs, but there's one good one. A lot of wolf tracks, and they're from this morning. Pack of wolves came in there looking for maybe someone hanging in a hammock. Maybe. But I think I'm going to stay here. It's a nice little campsite. Pretty little campsite. Nice view. What more can one ask for? I think I'm going to hang from that tree to this tree here. So I'll be home for the last night. I made it. I feel good. Get set up. I always like to set up before I do anything else, just in case it starts snowing or sleeting. And then I'll eat lunch. And then I gotta get firewood. Hopefully I'll have a fire tonight. Oh, I'm here. Honey, I'm home. Got camp all set up. Gonna eat some lunch. It's getting late. And after lunch, I'm gonna have to get some firewood. I'd like to get a fire tonight. It's gonna be slim pickings because I'm at a popular campsite on a popular lake. So I'm gonna have to do some exploring. Wow, it's rotted. This ends this trek. It was a great trip. I'm going to leave Slim Lake. I'm going to head down to the south end and pick up a portage back to the parking lot. Where I begun, where I came on the south end and took that portage over. Well, it was an old portage and I hooked up with a ski trail, and then I headed north towards Canoe Lake and no one has gone through there, and I know why. Like I said earlier, I had to break water. It was really tough. I had to do a lot of bushwhacking to get through there. I made it. I got to Canoe Lake and to the campsite there and ate lunch, and it was a beautiful campsite. If you come up here, check out that Canoe Lake campsite because you can hang a lot of hammocks, a lot of red pines. And then from there, after lunch, I took a portage over to Hook Lake. And when I got to Hook Lake, you guys, I was tired. It was a long day. I go to grab my tripod for the camera, and it wasn't there. I get all the way to camp, and I look, and my tripod fell off of my poke, my sled. So I had to walk all the way back to find it. Oh, I didn't need that, but that's part of the game. After I got back and set up, I was too tired to get firewood, so I just got little branches that were hanging underneath the pine trees and took my firebox and made a fire out of that, a small fire, and did some cooking, and that worked out well because there's nothing like having a fire at night. And then the next morning, I took the portage from Hook Lake to Rice Lake. From Rice Lake, that portage, there was 2 creeks I had to cross. That was interesting. Came to this campsite on Slim Lake, which is on the north end. And it's a beautiful campsite. Not the best for hanging, but the view is about a 180 view of the lake here, and it's just gorgeous. And sat by the fire all night yesterday. Well, I shouldn't say all night, till about 8:30. But it gets dark at 5, so you know, almost 4 hours of sitting by the fire. It was a great night. And one last thing is, you guys, I really appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot to me. Well, this is it. I'll see you in the next adventure, and God bless.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden.
Look who came out to say goodbye. Goodbye, Frosty. Thanks for the memories. See you next year, buddy.